A long time ago, in a land far, far away, a legend arose to claim his name amongst the superstars through violence and third-person shooter combat in a battleground known as PUBG Mobile. The land was otherwise known as an unknown battleground where the most sadistic and intense battles raged constantly, and only the truly gifted could survive long enough to watch his last enemy fall by the might of his hail of bullets and superior tactics. One such gifted combatant was simply known as Ugthej. He was quite versatile in the dreaded four-finger combat control martial arts technique, and very few could match his speed and ferocity in the aforementioned unknown battleground. But as time passed, he needed more out of his combat-filled life. He knew he had to reinvent himself with a new name and persona to strike fear in the hearts and minds of those who would dare stand against him in combat. And as his lust for conquest grew within him, his innate desire to loot never wavered. But he needed more. He needed a way to let loose his desire to loot and maintain an unending and unchanging riches. Riches that wouldn't be touched or taken away from him at the turn of the season. Riches and wealth would be a hallmark of his unparalleled ability to survive perilous conditions like the condition he found himself in during one such bout in PUBG Mobile. Locked in a house with his squad and pinned down by a relentless barrage of gunfire from what would most likely be a squad from the east, a fully decked out attack chopper flew in from the west to join the fray with its chain gun, constantly shooting at the house where Ugthej and his squad were in. The occupants of the chopper must have seen us run in to take solace from the ground assailants that pursued us, Ugthej thought to himself. Then suddenly we heard a deafening explosion. As the ringing subsided, an unmistakable myriads of sounds of creaks, squeaks of steel and caterpillar tires, and tonnage of steel and armor slowly barreled towards us, bringing their main cannon to bear at us, and it fired again. As the explosion rocked us to the core, a chunk of wall fell off as the roof and walls shook violently under the attack. We were pinned down without any hope of escape. PUBG Mobile was nowhere for the weak. "Omo man," Ugthej said. "This mode hard though," he said in his Nigerian slang, as he carefully peered through the window just in time to see a drone hovering from the south trying to bombard the tank on its trajectory to the north. The tank's heavy armor withstood the drone's attack as the tank peeled away from us to chase after the drone, while one of the enemy's tank's crew members climbed out the tank to man the secondary machine gun and fired on the drone. For a good 5 minutes, gunfire did not cease. Ugthej continued in his statement, "Is this how difficult PUBG Mobile is? We've not been able to leave this house that we sought cover in for so long." Skizzy, Ugthej's trusted squad mate and longtime acquaintance in PUBG, answered back and said, "You should try Arena Breakout. That place is so hard, it will give you PTSD." Immediately Ugthej heard that, it piqued his interest. He thought to himself, "So there is a place where battles are so intense and realistic that it will give participants post-traumatic stress disorder? I must check it out," Ugthej concluded. At this point, the tank and drone had gone. "Alright man, now is our chance. Let's go before the zone out catches up to us," Ugthej commanded as he proceeded to jump out of the window. Soon the rest of the squad followed after him as a mortar strike enveloped the entire region they were running through. Explosion after explosion quaked the very ground they were running on, as the explosion seemed to be catching up to Ugthej and his fleeing squad. As the smoke from the mortar strike explosion died down, there was an empty car in front of them, but his mind was no longer there. All Ugthej could think about was how he would journey to the distant land of arena breakouts. He was going to need a new passport, a new persona, and a new secret identity, he thought to himself as they drove off. Later that day, after a quick trip to Google Play Store, he found his way to Arena Breakout, taking all of his wealth of experience and his deadly four-finger martial arts technique. The icon Ugthej was born. With a renewed hunger for wealth and loot, the new man Ugthej set out to make a name for himself in a new, untamed and unforgiving land called Arena Breakout. And I will not rest, nor will I stop until I become Nigeria's richest Arena Breakout player extraordinaire. This I promise, he said to himself, with determination welling up within him as he met his Arena Breakout drill instructor for the first time. Welcome everyone to Ugthej, to my channel. As you've just heard, that is actually how I stumbled onto Arena Breakout. That is literally what happened. I was actually playing a game in pubg. Then one of my squad mates told me about Arena Breakout and how hard it was. So as that one happened now, that was how I then said to myself, let me just try out Arena Breakout. So this is just practically a narrated story of how I started playing Arena Breakout. If you guys liked it, let me know in the comments. I think I'll be making more and more videos of this kind of stories along with my gameplay, both Arena Breakout gameplay and pubg gameplay. So you guys should let me know in the comments and tell me how you feel about my new narrations, so to speak. So until next time, remember to like and subscribe to my channel, and we'll just keep doing this together. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Ugthej out. So the name of that fiction, fan fiction, narration, whatever you might call it or want to call it, is The Rise of Ugthej, or The Rise of Ugthej, or however they do pronounce my name, because it's hard to pronounce. So like I said, that was actually my thinking behind me temporarily, going on a hiatus from pubg and really concentrating on Arena Breakout. It's just that loot, that fact that my storage value will not be touched or will not be reset as the season ends and the new season begins, especially now that season 6 is about to round up. You can be rest assured that once you are in Arena Breakout, your loot, that's your coins and everything in your storage, will be as it is once this season ends and the next season begins, and you have to now update the game for the next season. Actually, but the only thing that is changed, or the only thing that is removed, is your faction currency. Yes, the faction currency and your reward tokens. That's those one kind currency like that that you find when you click on store. That's the only way for me to put it. So that's the only thing that will be removed. That's that faction currency, those colon currency and Tevila currency. Those are the things that will be removed, and then the reward token currency as well. Will also be removed. So, but apart from that, every other thing in your storage, you shall maintain it. Shall be maintained for you, and your currency will also not be touched. So that's the reason why so many of us really hold on to arena breakout, instead of so many other extraction based shooters that normally have their storage value removed and the contents of their storage deleted whenever a new season comes up. That's something we can rest assured that will never happen in arena breakout, and that was what made me fall in love with arena breakout. So that's just it.